are we getting there? Sofia 10. Um, and all my kids are good. All my kids, I mean, kids are kids. I'm not gonna sit up here and like act like I haven't had issues with all of my kids, but just as far as who they are. Now, our interaction, it's a lot of variables and whatever. But anyway, said that to say this. I don't know what's going on with Sophia, um, and I'm just doing my best to not repeat the mistakes that I made with the older three girls. I don't really think it's too much tension between us, but I'm not liking what I'm seeing as far as just attitude. I don't ask much of my kids, especially at this point. With it just being Sophia and Mike, is really not too much they responsible for. But I do like there are requirements when they get up in the morning. They got to do their personal hygiene. Want them, I want them to know that's important. I want them that to be the first thing that they do is get up and brush their teeth and take a bath or a shower, not just get up and hop on their phone. So Sophia, the dishes, it's like I gotta say something to her every day, and it's like when I say something to her, she always got her face all toward. Now she say nothing wrong with her, but I know better. Like I look at her. It's like that's not how your face always looks. So obviously, it's something wrong. But if she don't want to talk about it, and that's another thing that I pray about, just that all of our communication gets better. The tone, the body language, the facial expressions. Like I don't want it to be negativity when we communicate with each other. And I think I've done a really good job of monitoring how I speak to my kids and changing the way that I speak to my kids. After seeing how bad it was with the older kids, specifically Aaliyah, seeing myself on video just snapping at fucking mini golf, you know, it was ridiculous. And it's not something that changed overnight, but it has changed over time. And I'm a much better father than I was. I'm a much better communicator than I was. I can attribute part of that to the family. I can attribute part of that to timeshare and the requirements that I had to become good at my job. Same thing with being in any type of leadership role or anything like that, training. So I was put in those positions, and it helped me grow as a man. So now it's like, what do I do? I try to ask more questions than make statements, so that I would hope. Now I feel like it's working good with Micah, but Micah's also 6, so I don't know if he gonna get to a point where we going through this as well. And not that Micah's an angel, because he's still doing shit that, jumping on my furniture and sneaking on stuff I told him not to watch and stuff like that. So I mean, kids are gonna be kids. I get that. I just don't want Sophia out here feeling like she's getting picked on or being frustrated like she got too much on her, when it's really, next to nothing. And she's making it hard on herself, and I don't understand it. So all I can do is continue to ask her questions and try to hope that, through her answering the questions, that the light will freaking go off. It's the same thing I do with Micah. It's not what I've always done. That's one of the big changes that I made, because the goal is understanding. So best way to get them to understand is to get them to think about it and answer things themselves. So just like earlier, I walked in the room and I said, Micah, what are you doing wrong? He said, I'm yelling. All right, and I walked out, and that was it. I haven't heard him yelling anymore. So I'm trying my hardest to be a good dad, and I have good kids. I love my kids, but it's a disconnect in certain areas. And going through what I went through with my older girls, I don't want to go through this with Sophia. Now again, I don't think I will, because I'm more mindful of my input into the situation. So even though she doing the most and she really trying to play in my face, I'm not engaging her in a way that I feel like will even allow her to play the victim or feel sorry for herself or feel like she being mistreated or whatever else, you know. But I think, I'm getting on her nerves. So I'm just gonna be the annoying dad, but I'm not gonna be the mean dad. And hopefully she'll get it. But yeah, like, I love my kids. I love being a father. I want to be a husband. But balancing, all of these different personalities and dynamics and influences from other people and changes in individuals and everything, like seeing my kids grow up, and she growing up. I just hope that she matures as quickly as she grows to try to find new boundaries and establish new, they gonna test their limits. But I hope her maturity paces the same way with her having that desire to test her limits and my limits, frankly. But man, I gotta in all these situations, I gotta look at it, process what's going on, what I think is going on, figure out what are the right questions to ask to get to the answer that I want from her without creating a conflict or a confrontation, just addressing what needs to be addressed without negative emotion, at least on my part. Not talk aggressive, not curse, and I've never called my kids out of their names, and even if I have cursed, like I'm not calling them some or cursing at them, like, I don't know. But I don't even curse that much, so when I'm talking to them, like I said, it may have been 3 times, and I think it was something to the equivalent, like, I don't give a fuck about whatever, something like that. And not to excuse it, just to be accountable. Like, this is for me to really be real about what I'm doing and the changes that I need to make and the changes that I'm making and the impact of those changes and choices and whatever else, because the person sitting in front of this camera, 2026 is not going to be the same person sitting in front of this camera in 2027, and so on and so forth. But I'm still going to be dad. That's still going to be my baby girl, as long as she's my baby girl. Unless I have another one, then, but she's still Sofia. It's Princess Sofia. And I don't know, she's growing up and she's starting to challenge me a little bit more. And I don't feel like anger or resentment or anything about it. It's just like, I'm curious, like, what is this? Like, and how to deal with this. So I'm trying to figure that out.